How hard do you have to spit to take a guy down? And is Adam really dead? I mean, the answer is yes, but how many times have we thought someone was gone in this show only for them to show up in the next scene? So, you know, the question has to be asked. I'm Brody. Joined to my left is Tudong Dylan.
Hey.
And to my right is Charlie Hickman.
Hello.
Charlie's going to be taking us through the episode, and we'll be scoring it at the end, and where you can also see our averages for the whole season. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But before that, Charlie, take us away.
Well, we open with a lovely flower.
It's
we get a nice little. It's a what?
It's a pretty flower.
What'd you say?
It's pretty.
It's a pretty flower, yeah, and a lovely ballad playing in the background as the camera pulls back to reveal a jail, and we get a glimpse again at one Bullseye Poindexter. Why they gave him the surname Poindexter, I still don't quite understand, but they sure love to say it. Fun little drinking game for you and your friends who are of age. Every time they say Poindexter, take a shot. You will be wasted.
Oh yeah.
we get Poindexter being put in Gen Pop. I think kind of revealing a little bit about who might have hired him and who might want him to be dead. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about Poindexter before we get into like the back and forth with the Fisk and Matt? You guys excited to see Bullseye back in action again, or are we cautiously optimistic? What were you thinking when the intro was rolling?
I'm totally excited to have him back. I've been saying that since like episode 1. I'm like, I just want him back. I was excited to see him and excited kind of going through this episode because we actually get to see him kind of doing Bullseye stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not like a big comic book aficionado, make sure you stay tuned because later on, Brody's going to give us a full rundown of the superpowers of Bullseye and how he's able to kind of utilize some of those to why
do you put stuff like this on me?
Because
Brody,
you're the best one to do it.
You're going to explain it to the people. It's no problem. So, Dylan, did you like this portrayal of Poindexter? We all in on the Bullseye? What do we think?
We are all
hit the mark for you?
Oh yeah. It absolutely hit the mark. I like the character. I love the character. I love that the character is not just an enemy of Daredevil, but he is also an enemy of Fisk. I thought at the end of season 3, that 3-way fight, I was just like, that's fantastic. That's happening again? Is it going to happen again? Before halfway through this episode, I was actually thinking, like, I actually stopped because I had to stop for a second, and I was about to text you guys and just be like, I can't. This is way better than the other episodes. What's happening here? I'm excited. This is great. But I didn't want to say anything because I'm like, what if it goes downhill? There was a time I texted Charlie and I was like, hey, Departed. It was like halfway through, and I'm like, Departed is not a sad movie. It's not and it's part of the Suicide Collection as far as you're concerned. And now and then once watching the entire thing, I'm like, okay, never mind.
Text halfway through.
Never text halfway through. But this didn't let it down. I was glad to see Bullseye back.
So from here, we get, and we're just going to kind of lump a lot of things together because we essentially get 14 back and forths between Matt and Heather, and then this kind of Fisk scene with Fisk first at Red Hook, and then talking about Red Hook with Sheila, and then back with Vanessa and dear sweet Adam, who gets to be killed again. So like within this within the scene, we get the Adam stuff. If you guys want to talk about that, we get the Red Hook stuff. If you guys want to talk about that, we get Matt and Heather. What a lovely couple they are. The chemistry brimming between those two. What a delightful. I'm really rooting for those kids. Really shipping them hard. So you guys want to talk a little Matt and Heather? You want to talk a little Vanessa, Adam? Let's hear it. Brody, what you got for us?
So this I was not a fan of these cuts. They did this again, and it was similar to the fight with Muse, where they kept cutting back and forth between Kingpin and Adam, and then Daredevil and Muse, and it was these. I understand that they're trying to like create this, they're two sides of one coin, right? So they're just trying to go back and forth. But I just wish that they would let these scenes play out. I would so much rather have these scenes back to back than like try to squish them together, because it takes me out of it. I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention here. Oh wait, now I got to switch my attention here. Oh wait, now I got to go back here and remember what they were talking about. Oh, now we're back here. What were they talking about? That's right. So, not a fan of these cuts. I hope that they cut this next season. Cut the cuts next season.
Yeah, cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut
Before we get into
out.
like some timely references as always, the before we get into some of the specifics, I do want to piggyback on that a little bit, bro, because I do feel like this is like having like you're having a real good conversation with one of your friends, and right when they're getting to like some of the really important details of the story, you're like, hold on a second, and you like pick up your phone and you call a different one of your friends and start a different story. And it's like, okay, now wait, hold on, this is getting good. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay, where were we? And it's like this like back and forth of like just it sucks the tension out, right? Because there's no build. Like the whole Vanessa with the gun stuff, like there was no build up to that. It was so random. She's like looking at a key. She's like it just kind of kept cutting in and out. I'm like, okay, well, I guess there was no emotional. The Adam character, like there was no emotional impact on him whatsoever. Just this poor like Monty Python-esque prisoner with the long hair chained to a wall. Please, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. Please let me go.
He is the Monty Python.
One more time, let me out. He's probably not dead though. I think you're right, bro. I wrote in my notes, Adam dead? Question mark. Who knows? The next episode when he shows up and somehow he's also Bullseye.
And now he's Bullseye.
It's the foggy. He's foggy in disguise. He's like,
yes!
I mean, I will say though, with the Adam, that's the scene we're at, right? Where she kills Adam. Is that where we are?
It's all in a big pool. Sure, why not?
Okay. I did like that she killed him, and now we're kind of done with that, right? Because we've had this Adam thing for 8 episodes now, where it's it was originally like, I'm aware of Adam, and then he's down, he's getting beat up, and all these things. And I'm glad that we're kind of just like, I felt like there was a number of times in this episode where I'm like, oh, okay, so we're moving on. Like finally, we're moving on from things. We're getting some story. We're in episode 8. It's a little, it's a little bit late, but better late than never. So I was glad that it was kind of like, okay, we're done with Adam now. He's done. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's dead. We think. Do you guys think, because she killed Adam and then Kingpin kind of grabbed her face and they were kind of talking about like how they love each other? Do you think that they like right in front of the dead body? You think they
Yep.
I think you're like right on top of the body.
Like just, right. Well, I thought maybe like on the table right outside the cell or something like that. But was that like a turn on for them? Was they killing a guy who
it seemed to be.
Also, how did Adam? This dude look really dirty. I don't know. How did he get with Vanessa? I'm like, what, did she find him in like an alleyway? Like, where did she get this guy?
I don't think that he was like that, bro, because he's normally like that. I was under the impression that he had been held captive there. And Kingpin was like, what do you want to shave? Well, forget it.
He had like 6 months worth of hair and beard.
The timeline is so blurry. Who knows when he was kidnapped? Because he kind of finds out, he already knows about this, right? By the time he confronts Vanessa about this, it's kind of like, I know that you did this, and I promise I won't kill him. And then like, I don't know. This could have been anywhere from like a year to like this show. I can't tell if it's been like months or if it's been like 4 days. The timeline is very nebulous.
It is.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Hey, speaking of things that are delightfully nebulous, how are we feeling on Mather or Hemet, or Matt and Heather coupling here? Do we love this scene?
I'll tell you this. That first scene when she was talking, I was just kind of like, are you kidding me with this? Unbelievable. You wanted introduced to Frank Castle and Daredevil, and now you're saying this. I was just like, I didn't like you before, and now I really don't like you. I'm glad that Matt was just kind of like almost sloughing the whole thing off, and then he just like left. I'm very glad with that. I was like, forget that. I love how he's like, he was trying to kill you, and he was trying to save you. And she's like, well, neither one was doing anything. And I'm like,
I don't understand.
Neither one was okay.
Why are they trying to make her likable? Like, why would you put a character in a
Really
show
easy.
and then just write her to be completely unlikable? Like, is the goal for us not to like her? Is that the goal? Because she's comparing Muse and Daredevil and just going off on this, like, it's just like a completely chemistry-less relationship between these two people. I don't understand, like, the thought process in the writing here at all. We were
Sure.
all there. We all saw the scene. He did save her life, actually, and she did shoot him, and that's fine, but she wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so had she been dead, which she would have been had he not showed up. We all witnessed
Sure.
it. We all know who Daredevil is. We all like Daredevil. We're here for Daredevil.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point of writing this character to be like yet another thorn in his side. This whole season is like best friend is murdered. He's got a whole new law firm. He's trying not to be the devil. Everyone's kicking him.
Yeah,
Like, we don't need more characters like kicking him. Like, we got Cherry. Like, don't find the serial killer. And we got her. Like, thanks for nothing. Like, he should have not found the serial. Just let everybody die. And like, he's a happy devil. I don't understand the writing at all. I don't understand the direction of this. They should have just killed her off in Muse's office and given him a different emotional arc. If this was all they were going to do with the character, it makes zero sense to me. Brody, you like this relationship. Defend it.
No, I don't. I'm not crazy about Heather. I think we predicted that she was going to die way early in this season, and I still think that she's going to die. Even as we went through this episode, like the Fisks are no longer have her as a therapist and stuff like that. I think they're like tying up her stuff. But what I did like about this is I really like that Matt is keeping his secret identity. I like that because we're in the MCU where secret identities of superheroes are few and far between, right? Like there's like Spider-Man, and only after an entire movie where he had to reverse all this stuff. But most superheroes
wipe everyone's memory, no big deal.
Most superheroes don't have a secret identity. And so it could have been really easy for him, who in this story, they have said, that they love each other, for him to say, listen, I'm Daredevil. And I'm so glad that they didn't, because this is a secret identity, and he's actually keeping it secret. And I really like that, because so often they just blow it. I'm this superhero. So.
And we'll talk about it later, obviously, but I did get the impression that towards the end of the episode, he was basically like, hey, stick around and watch this and it'll explain everything. I did get the impression that at the end, he was going to be like, I'm Daredevil. I did get that impression from him. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it, but.
I actually was agreeing. I agree with Charlie. I was thinking like, oh man, he's going to tell her his freaking secret identity now. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's a long scene. We'll get to that in a bit. So I think we can all agree that the Matt Heather stuff is kind of irritating. And speaking of things that are irritating, we're for some reason we're back at the office. There's a new client for some reason at this point. Like, that just feels so tedious. But I guess just here to kind of to show how irritated Matt is, and to get and I guess for Matt to get delivered the Poindexter information drink. So then we get the Daniel promotion, and we get the Matt arguing with the guy who, after he lied to text them, and the argument with Kristen. So let's take those three things. So really just the office scene with the bro client who's like totally lying, and then like the Daniel being promoted to deputy mayor. Anything you guys want to hit on that?
I loved how Matt just calls him right out. I thought that was fantastic. Usually he is, hey, we're gonna defend him because everybody deserves defense, and he was just like, you know what? Perjury, if we have you come up here and we know you're lying. We're not doing it. I thought that was great. And having him storm out and just be like, what the hell am I even doing right now? I was like, why didn't you ask yourself this with episode like 1 or 2? Fantastic, man. Get out of there. You don't need to be there. Come on.
Well, and I did
Matt does some good nutshelling. He kind of gives us a breakdown of every episode. He's like, and this happened in episode 1, and episode 2, and episode 3, and episode.
I did like that we see Matt getting frustrated with kind of the current situation, right? Because he's been holding back Daredevil. He's been trying to do just the lawyer thing. and he's kind of at this point where he's like, we're just babysitting. Like he even said that. He was like, we're just babysitting these guys, or babysitting chaos or something. It was something like that he said. And yeah, and we did get the examples of that he brought up of previous episodes. So it was kind of nice for him to be like, oh, I can't handle this anymore. Like okay, yeah, it's just more reasons to be Daredevil. If I can get more Daredevil,
yeah,
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Which you don't. Which, spoiler alert, you don't. Not in this episode. So I think we can all agree the Daniel promotion stuff, we can just skip that. It's, it happened. We are making a note of it. He's going to be a big part, I think, of the next season.
He did say, I will burn for
finale,
you.
Which I doubt that.
He said, I will burn
I
for
heard
you.
that too. I'm like, oh,
and
Daniel.
Fisk was like, I know you will.
Danny's like, I know you will. I'm like, oh, Daniel.
But I was like,
come on.
Okay. Is he actually going to literally burn? I don't know. Is he going to be set on fire? Maybe.
Oh.
Put into the deep fat fryer. So from here, we get the bar, and this has been bugging me all season, and I get that this is kind of like we've talked about this a few times in the show, that they seem to have been taking more of like a procedural arc to the series with like kind of more isolated storylines and 1 to 2 episode chunks. They give us something at the beginning and then don't revisit it at all, and then all of a sudden all these loose ends are coming back to fold in the last 2 episodes. He has not investigated Foggy's murder for the entire season. He has not asked why Bullseye tried to kill him or killed him, or who knows if he's really dead. He has not thought about this. He spends 5 seconds in the bar and suddenly has like a new lead and is like, I'm on the case. Like the guy who found the serial killer in one night, the guy who tracked down where the serial killer was to defeat him in like 33 seconds of research, has decided to put 5 seconds of his master detective skill to work on who killed his best friend, and he's like, a lead. I will go visit this Poindexter fellow. Did that bother you guys at all? Is it just pettiness by me that it bothers me?
I can understand, and I was kind of thinking actually the exact same thing. I was thinking exactly. I was like, he didn't go back here. I mean, it wasn't open, so I kind of get why you didn't go back, but yeah, you didn't go back as Daredevil and take a look and see. But I have to admit that I stopped thinking that as soon as the Murdock Poindexter scene started. Then I was like, nope, that's fine. That's great. I saw that at the end of that scene. That's when I was almost going to text you guys. Oh wow, have you guys been watching this? Are you watching this right here? That was fantastic. When he took his head and slammed it onto the table and was like, guard, he's slamming his head into the table. I was just like, what? I was like, this is really, wow. And the guard is like, you crazy so-and-so. I was like,
this guy's always slamming his face into tables.
He's always slamming his face. I thought it was great. And I mean, like, he was really getting Daredevil in there. And I was like, that's fantastic. I just liked how that played out. He was angry. And if there's anything that's great, it's an angry Murdock.
I think for me, for the Foggy stuff.
How about you, bro?
I think that part of this is just the way that this show has been done and redone, because these new directors and showrunners, they did episode 1 and then they've done episode 8 and 9. And we know that Foggy and Karen weren't a part of this original version of this. And so it does sort of make sense that we would go through all these episodes that were primarily from before any reshoots. And then we revisit this back when the guys kind of get to take these shows back over. Is it
shows that he's not dead? Foggy's there. He's somewhere.
Is it like, when I think about that, sure, like he could have gone back and investigated and done something, but I guess to me it's just in his grief, he just kind of like, he was killed by Bullseye, and then Daredevil threw Bullseye off a building and Bullseye went to jail, and that's kind of, Bullseye was getting revenge on Daredevil, and that's that. Yeah, maybe that's just what made sense in his mind, and so he's like, this is what happened. I don't know that to me, I don't think he thought that there was any more investigating to do, that it was just, this is the situation. And so I didn't think too much of it when it was kind of revealed to him of like, oh, he only would have had this drink when he knew that something was like the case was won. Hey, granted, we don't know a whole lot about this case. That was one
Or
thing
when he
that
fakes his own death.
I was like, what was this case about? Because, you know, we're talking like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember what he was talking. I don't remember what case he's talking about. You know, it was mentioned in the first 5 minutes, and that 6 weeks ago. I don't remember that. So, but I guess I just looked past it.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's fair. I'm probably being a little petty. I would. It could have been solved for me just like once, and like at the end of an episode, he pulls back a curtain or something, and he has his own like Punisher style crazy man murder board that shows that he actually has been behind the scenes investigating like why. Bullseye is not like a hey, I'm gonna go kill your buddy
Why not?
for revenge guy. Like
He's
that just
Bullseye.
didn't
He's
seem like the
insane.
Bullseye. When he just killed Daredevil. Just killed Daredevil.
Yeah,
Killed one guy. Only one guy. He only killed one person. He's firing bullets and like, I mean, sure, he hit a few nice little innocent people in the head with cue balls and stuff, but that's all he did. He's Bullseye.
He
He could have killed that whole place if he wanted to. He could have slaughtered and massacred everyone and not even shown his face.
He killed his best friend.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe he, you know, that
Look,
would be.
If you guys are ever heroes and I get shot by a sniper's bullet by like a super villain and you guys don't even bother to ask why, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to haunt you so hard from the grave. I will haunt you with my whole being. I will come back as a Skrull and I will just take you guys down. You didn't even ask why?
I'll be like, no, because the
Like,
villain wanted to get revenge on me.
I'd be like, I asked him why right before I threw him off the roof for you, sir. Threw him right up. How was I supposed to know he had
didn't kill him. He's fine. It didn't even hurt him.
He threw him off a roof. I mean,
oh, my ghost is so mad at you guys right now. My ghost is pissed.
Really, you know what? I gotta say, he didn't really throw him off the roof. It's just kind of let him fall off the roof. It's not like he lifted him up and was just like, now die.
Yeah, he pulled a Batman. He pulled a Batman.
I think there was a pretty good
like,
push.
I'm not holding you up anymore.
Yeah, I think there was a pretty good push.
Who can say? Who can say? It was so long ago.
But
I did like the Matt Poindexter scene. Brody, come on, lay it on us.
What? Lay what on you? The Bullseye's powers?
The Matt Poindexter scene. No, you like that scene.
Oh,
you got nothing to say on it? That's fine. We can move on.
No, it was good. It was good.
You like an angry, sassy Matt. I thought you were into that one.
I do. I am into it, and I'm into Poindexter, to Bullseye, and Matt just getting pissed,
yeah, you are,
and slamming his head on the desk, and then blaming it on himself. And I loved how Bullseye's crazy. So the guards just come in and they're just like, this guy's crazy. Like they, you know, I did have to turn and ask Amy. I said, wouldn't there be like cameras in there? And then she said, well, maybe it's like a lawyer client
it's the
type thing. They don't have any cameras. There's no cameras in these rooms.
Oh yeah, lawyer client confidentiality.
And that's what Amy said, and I was like, okay. And so I was like, sure, I'll buy that. So, but it was a good scene. It was a good scene. I liked it.
Let's stay on Bullseye. I know the party scene is really long, so we can kind of talk about that in totality, but like with the different themes because they're cutting in and out of those themes a lot. So he did spit a tooth through a guy's eye, right? I saw that correctly.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I could have sworn he did that in the comic book somehow.
He's done it in the comic books a couple times. Yeah, he's done it a couple times.
You're our official Bullseye expert.
Okay, good. All right, nice.
Yeah.
He has now adamantium teeth, apparently.
he's done it in the comics, so it's comic accurate.
I need a full rundown of his powers because he seems like it's not just the Bullseye. It's like
well, he's got he's a master marksman. He's got enhanced durability. Parts of adamantium are fused to his skeleton. And yeah, he's a master assassin, master martial artist, weapons proficiency, gifted intellect. So
Mm.
now
Like it.
I was curious. I said how I did Google this. I said, how hard would you need to spit something to kill somebody? And I'm sure that Google's going to love my search history there.
All our Daredevil related search histories are going to be delightful.
I know.
Definitely going to jail for all
But
these.
I came across a Reddit, and somebody was asking that same thing. And people were commenting about cherry seed spitting, which would be like a similar size. And the world record for spitting a cherry seed is 93.5 feet. So it's like a third of a football field that they spit a cherry seed, a cherry pit.
What's the velocity on those?
Yeah.
It would have to be pretty hard if you're spitting at 93.5 feet, right? I mean,
yeah, well, if you threw a paper airplane, you can fly across a field like that. So, I mean, it's just floating. And everybody knows the viscosity and flotation of cherry seeds are.
Well, and then I rewatched the scene. It doesn't look like he's spitting it like through his skull. It looks like he spits it right in his eye, which if you spit anything in my eye, especially if it's covered in blood, it's going to hurt. It would hurt to have a sharp tooth spit into your eye. That would probably knock me backwards.
Yeah, but you saw the blood from his eye.
Yeah.
Out, that went into his skull. Like, I'm not saying it came out the back, but
was that blood
that
coming?
Entered. There was penetration.
Well, hold on. I thought that the spray of blood was coming from Bullseye's mouth because his mouth was all bloody.
No. Yeah, well, his mouth was bloody, but he spat into that guy's eye, and that guy's eye, like he got shot. There was blood from his eye, like he was dead.
Yeah, it went out. I don't know if he died because no one dies in the show, really, but he did kind of like, it sounded like he was also on the ground going, "Oh, come on!" He did look pretty dead later, though, when they cut back to the room.
Yeah, he threw something else at him too. Yeah.
Either way, we'll look into this, how fast someone could spit a tooth. We'll you know what? We're gonna get our scientists on this. We're gonna get the people at MythBusters.
Nice. Yes.
To get on this.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know the velocity
of it. A cherry pit in the eye, the viscosity and the what have you is just it's just too deadly.
All right. Well, anyway, all right. So we've talked about that. Let's get back to the party scene. There's a lot happening here, and really, like, we can kind of break this into like 3 categories that you can choose to talk about or not. It doesn't matter. So we have Fisk kind of rubbing it back in the nose of the rich people, including Jack the swordsman from the Hawkeye series, if you remember such things.
I do.
So we get and then the very nervous blonde lady who's running around. We get so that there's that element. We get the task force kind of all around there. We get the random reporter, which, by the way, here I'm just gonna do something here real quick.
Okay,
I just took a picture. You'll notice that you didn't hear it
or see a flash.
Also notice that I didn't have my flashlight on. But hey, we're all different. When you're undercover at a party trying to snap a candid, maybe you want that volume cranked all the way up and that flashlight on because you just want to get a little bit of notice. That was like frustratingly ridiculous. I know that they wanted to draw our attention to it, but come on.
Yeah, it was a bit silly.
So then he obviously gets we get the Deep Fat Fryer stuff, we get the commissioner stuff, we get BB Daniel stuff, we get the dancing stuff, and then let's save the Matt part for the end. So anything under that umbrella that you guys want to hit?
I do not understand what Daniel is doing. Why would he go to a person who totally betrayed him, blackmail the person, and then be like, "So, how's everything happening? Well, we can still be friends. Maybe we should even date." Who knows? You want to get shots? I was just like, what is this guy doing? She already completely almost screwed up his career. Fisk could have just beaten him to death right there. it didn't seem like he thought he was going to die. I would have been begging for my life, where instead he was like, "I love you, Wilson Fisk. I will do everything for you," which that totally worked. But
Did work.
he, like, I'm like, dude, yeah, you're smart, but not that smart. If you're seriously continually doing this, I thought it was fine that BB was like, "Hey, I'm kind of undercover." At the same time, I'm like, wait, I'm not gonna suddenly start giving you intelligence points just because you write things under a different name, especially when you've already written something that betrays the like right hand guy of the freaking mayor. And now you're coming to their party? If I was her, I would have thought they were gonna kill me right then and there. I would have been like, "I'm out of here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll totally help you guys out." And I would have done that, and then I've been like, "Oh, what do you know? I just slipped and broke my leg. I gotta get out of here. I quit the business. Goodbye, everybody, forever."
Yeah, the BB stuff.
Bro, you got any thoughts on the BB stuff?
I've said it the past couple episodes. I kind of over the BB stuff. I'm not really sure what the point of her character is anymore. I'm glad that we haven't gotten any of these BB breaks that are just unnecessary, like shots of random people. Like, I guess at least she's trying to do something, where she's saying like, "Oh, not everything I write is under my name," but then it's like, well, but you're still like writing about him. She had the trash stuff, and now she's writing like good things about him, and so I don't know. I'm still not really a fan of kind of her whole storyline. I wish it was Ben Urich. It really just seems like they're like, man, I really wish that the previous showrunners didn't kill off Ben Urich in the first season. And what can we do? Let's have his niece. And the Daniel stuff. I'm over BB. I'm over Daniel.
I don't need to see a romance between those two characters, whether it's real or somehow spycraft. It does feel like her character, like they just didn't quite know what to do, and then maybe even you guys ever play the story game where you start a story and like write a paragraph and then you pass the paper to someone else and then they write, and then you can kind of get into these like battles where like someone's like, and then Michael the gnome died and what about it? And then the next person takes over. They're like, but in a twist of fate, Michael the gnome was brought back to life to fight, and you kind of like end up in a war of like what the characters are going to do. I mean, who knows? Maybe the first couple episodes, like, oh no, we're going to make BB a hard-hitting journalist. And then everyone else is like, nah, we'll make her like a Fisk talking piece. And then they're like, aha, but now it's my turn to write again. And now she's a brave spycraftian, person. So, who knows what they're going to do with that character. I just know that every time that her or Daniel are talking, there's steam let out of the episode. Whatever traction we're gaining, it feels like it just kind of deflates the balloon.
Or it's kind of like a weak fart. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about the Jack, the swordsman stuff. Do you guys care about that stuff at all? Like the finance stuff, the money shakedowns?
No.
The red.
I'm glad it didn't take long. I'm like, good, do your thing, your kingpin, do it kingpinly.
Sure.
And continue. But yeah, make it fast.
Dylan, have you noticed that Officer Powell sounds exactly like Bulldog from Frasier?
Yeah, I have noticed that actually. There were times where I was just like, wait a minute.
He delivered a line today and I had to rewind it. I was like, whose voice is that? I'm like, oh, it's Bulldog. It's Bulldog.
What was it? Which one was it?
Yeah. Hey, commissioner, you're not going to arrest me, and that is a felony, Like,
that's it. That's the one.
I'm Bulldog. and then he. We're making all the Full House, the Frasier. We're making all the timely references tonight.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Stay tuned. We got some I Love Lucy references coming. Don't worry, we're staying right on the cutting edge.
Hey, both of them had revivals. Varying success.
The commissioner coming in and then going like the blubbering thing that he did was like so like, oh my gosh, what like a just like, I know they're trying to show that he feels powerless, but like the whole thing was just like, oh, I don't like that commissioner character. I don't know why
Yeah.
he's in the show.
Gallo.
Yeah.
But he's probably gonna die because he's got files and files of information. And I'll give them to you at a later date. Wink. Anytime a character's like, I know all the secrets, but I'm not gonna tell you now. I'll tell you tomorrow. It's like, let me go put on this red shirt and the Star Trek uniform and beam down to the planet real quick, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Hal said he wanted to go have coffee at this one place. I've never been there before. Lots of glass windows, but he said coffee's is okay.
Oh, look at this box I got in the mail. Let me look. So we'll, but who knows if the show's, playing, if the show's gonna follow through with that. There's only one episode left. All right, let's talk some Matt. So Matt shows up. Heather's very irritated with him for reasons, continuously irritated with our main character, who we all like. Why not? There's dancing, and then we have the big reveal that it was the Vanessa who killed Foggy, and then we have the big finale. So whichever part of that you guys want to talk about, let's hear it.
I have to say, I love the fact that she is just talking a bunch of whatever he was saying, and he was paying less attention to her than I was, and I was like, I was like, please don't cut back to her. Please keep listening, Matt. And he just did, and I was like, yes. Good. Now we're getting somewhere. He doesn't need to listen to her. She should have just walked away. And he was just like, we're gonna go dance now. Good. Yes. Whatever you said. Well, I don't even care. I actually, this part made me think about it for quite a while. Are we gonna get like to the actual end part? Are we gonna say that, or do you have anything to say, Brode, first?
I will say I did really like how Kingpin knew that Matt was there, and Kingpin, Vanessa starts saying stuff, and he's like, no, not here, not right now. And then Kingpin starts just like talking to Matt because he knows that Matt can hear him, and that like nobody else can hear him, but he knows that Matt can hear him. I thought that was really neat. I liked the way that they did that. I thought that was cool.
I like the shot too, like the spotlight down, her red dress, his white suit, the dancing. I thought there was some nice like cinematography moments.
Sure. Yeah.
In that little dance scene.
This episode had some really cool like tracking shots. In the beginning, from the flower to the jail cell with Bullseye, following Bullseye down the corridor as he goes to the general population, and then even some stuff in this party. I was like, they did some like cool camera work in this one. I liked that. I also really liked that they kind of made the choice. I don't remember it happening in the third season, but whenever Bullseye was like focusing, like we got this blue filter over everything. I thought that was really neat. I really liked that. It just kind of had this visual thing of like, okay, Bullseye is kind of in his Bullseye mode. He's gonna do something, and kind of the world around him goes blue, almost like icy or something.
Just to let you know, like blue roses, that's what he was looking at, by the way. And they don't actually exist in nature. They have to be like made, I don't know, like some other way, like some
prisoners. They're made by prisoners.
But they have to be actually like genetically designed. And blue roses somehow, like they represent, because every color of a rose has a thing. It's like determination. Like he looked at that thing, and he is like, I am going for it right here. That's what I'm going to do. Which is another thing I thought was really cool when they like did that blue filter. I loved that.
Yeah.
So, Brody, you didn't think so. What did you think Matt was going to do when he was dragging Heather over to confront Kingpin? Like, I mean, aside from like him saying "I'm Daredevil" to him, like how was he about to prove to her that he's like a bad guy? Like, hey, watch this. I'm gonna drag you over here, and I'm gonna confront him, and he's gonna just admit that he's like, yeah, I'm a pretty bad guy. I like to kill people. Ben Urich heard of him, crushed his head.
I have no idea. I didn't know what was going to happen.
This was great. Murdock must have
That's right.
known what was happening way ahead of time, because I really was thinking about this. I was like, he is determined to get there. And he even says, when something happens, keep your head down and get out of there. I thought, he's going to pick a fight with him right there. He's not going to. I'm like, and then the cops are going to what? Arrest him? He's not doing that. That's ridiculous. He's not going to do that. But he was heading in that direction. He danced with Vanessa, and he was just like, I love. She was like, calm down. Oh, I was waiting for him to explode and be like, this is me calm. I'm calm right now.
You've never seen me very upset.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd say that.
I thought
1996, Mission Impossible.
There you
We
go.
did it.
I thought that this was a tense scene because I didn't know what was going to happen. He's dancing with Vanessa and telling Vanessa that he knows what she did. And then she comes out and she's like, does Heather know that you're Daredevil? And it's like, oh, I guess that makes sense that Vanessa would know because Kingpin probably would have told her. But it was kind of this like, oh, dang, like Vanessa knows that he's Daredevil. And so
he
that was
literally like opened
his
his mask at the end of season 3 and was like, you know, huh?
Oh, did he at the end of season 3? It's been a while. It's been a while. Okay.
At the end of season 3, I saw that last fight. And I was just like, he opened it up. But I mean, like, he didn't turn and look at her, but I'm sure he was like, by the way, that was Matt Murdock.
Okay,
I
forgot that.
You also see Kingpin. You see Kingpin talking to Heather, being like, right into. He was going to tell her. He's like, you know, well, he was literally like, you know why he is defending, like vigilantes and all that kind of thing. He was on his way, and I thought, is he going to go and stop him? He had all of this. It's not that he planned it out, like he knew, like he put this chess piece in motion, but he knew that Poindexter's Bullseye was coming. He knew Bullseye was going to shoot Wilson, and he knew that like Heather was going to be right by there. And what he did, I gotta say, was so freaking smart. So smart, especially because he was right about to be like, yeah, this is Daredevil. He can't do that now. There's no way he's going to tell anybody that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, because now this blind lawyer saved the mayor's life. And if he says he's Daredevil,
you know what other way he could never have said he was Daredevil?
By killing him?
If he just gets shot by Bullseye and dies.
That's true too.
That also solves a lot of his problems.
That's true too.
So the shot
Brody,
by Bullseye.
Did you like did you like the shot thing?
No, I did not. That was
genius.
We have kind of joked about Daredevil's powers this season and how some of the things that he does are a bit of a stretch for having heightened senses. He could hear the gun. I get that. But he's still blind. How does he know where that bullet is going to go? To have the reaction time to hear it and then jump in front of Fisk, it was just like, how does that work with his powers? I didn't get that. So that I did take issue with that.
I think I always I looked at it a bit more like Matt knew that Bullseye was going after Fisk, and he was keeping tabs on where.
Why would Bullseye go after Fisk? Why wouldn't he go after Vanessa, who hired him, and then?
Well, Fisk was the one that moved him to general population.
Yeah. And he probably was doing that. If he
kills Foggy to hurt Daredevil, then he's not going to kill Fisk. He's going to kill Vanessa to hurt Fisk. Unless you're saying he was going to kill Fisk to hurt Vanessa.
I think he was killing Fisk to hurt Vanessa because he knew that it was Vanessa that hired him, not Fisk. He was like, I'll tell you who hired me. He never said, yeah, Fisk is the one, because he never said it, because she's not the one who did it. It was Vanessa, and he was going to do that. And he's like, okay, Vanessa, you're going to put me in general population. I'm going to go ahead and kill Fisk, and then I can kill whoever I want, really. Where's your task force now?
Where's your task force now?
But Daredevil got in front of it. He got in front of it, and the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, that was great. I thought that was fantastic. He had saved. He took a bullet for the mayor.
Yeah.
He's gonna beat him in his own game. I was like, wow. I never ever would have thought of that. The whole time I'm like, what is that happening here? What is he gonna do? And I thought that was great. That was me. I thought that this was the ending of this was fantastic.
It's I was with you, bro. Like the whole like, how did he know the trajectory? And even the bullet, like hearing the bullet, he was like listening through the sounds of other things just in case there was like another sound. The way they filmed it, he's like, somewhere out there's a more important sound that I need to hear, so I'm gonna tune out these other sounds. And he like, yeah, it's like little sound feelers that went out and like, I found it, and then somehow knew the exact trajectory of the bullet and where it was gonna go. That was a little much. And it always like, I don't, they kind of, this show has done, for even the Netflix version, a lot of like philosophizing about like who Daredevil is and why Daredevil is, and if he should be, and should he kill or should he not, and on all this stuff. And they keep like putting him in situations where like, now he saved Fisk's life, so everything that Fisk does bad from now on out is like something that's also like on Daredevil's hands. Like, we don't need like that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of anchors in the season. Like, we're 8 episodes in, we still don't have Daredevil, still don't. And it's like, we're still arguing whether or not he should even exist in a show about him. It's so weird to me. And like, just let him be freaking Daredevil. Make a Daredevil show. It doesn't make sense. Like, the whole direction of the season has been so frustrating because we're still like, they're still like, we don't need more characters going like vigilantes. What, vigilante crime is down 30%? What's vigilante crime? They're stopping crime. What does that even mean? If they wear a mask, they're a vigilante. Muse is a vigilante. She's a therapist, but doesn't understand the difference between Daredevil and a serial killer who killed over 60 people. She can't separate that. She's not smart enough to figure that out. I don't understand the back and forth of Cherry and Kirsten and whoever else. Like, we don't need these people saying we don't need a Daredevil. You know who was saying that was the network executives before they gave us a Daredevil show back. They were saying, I don't know, does the world need a Daredevil? And then they said yes, and then they still didn't give it to us. They give us Bullseye saying a man defends his worst enemy, and then so of course, because we foreshadowed it, now he's going to defend his worst enemy because he's a real man. Just let him be freaking Daredevil fighting crime. It frustrates me. We're still stalled out. It's going to be 9 episodes. He's been Daredevil less time than we've seen Adam on screen.
That's true.
Outside of the first fight. Add it up. Count it.
I don't want to, because I don't want it to be true.
Who do we have more screen time of, Adam or Daredevil? I'm going to time it, and I'll get back to you next week. I bet if we add up all the BB reports, that's longer than Daredevil screen time. Episode 1.
Definitely. I think definitely.
Yeah. I can see that.
Okay. Well, so that's the end of the episode. I'm really curious about you guys' ratings, because it sounds
Dylan,
like
you love this one the most, so go first.
It sounds like we're kind of all in different. We have been pretty in line with each other this whole season.
Peer pressure.
And this might be the one that breaks this. All right, Tudong.
That's good.
I gave the last one a 6, huh?
Last one was a 6. It was bad.
I'm going to go 8.5. I really did like this. I'm not going to go all the way to a 9, but 8.5. I thought this episode was great. Halfway through, it made me want to like text you guys. And at the end, I wanted to be like, you guys seen this? That was great. I was thinking about what Matt had done afterwards. And I was just like, wow, like there's this implications of this. He could go this way. He could do this. This is what that means. Or maybe that's what it means. And I like the fact that it made me think along those lines. I thought that was great. And now I'm not saying that this should be the end of the season. It's not a season or series ender right here, but it definitely, I thought this was excellent. Having him completely they tried to have Heather and him argue, and he just walks out. He's like, "Yeah, sure, good, goodbye." And he's like, "I'm not going to even bother texting her, and I'm not really even going to tell her what's happening. Just get out of here when something happens." I thought that was great. Just stop listening to what she's saying and listen to some important things. I like the fact I love the the Fisk and Vanessa, and that she apparently they're all good after she killed somebody for him. I thought all that stuff was great. I was very pleased with this episode, and it made me excited again.
I'll go next. So
Bro,
I'm
what about
actually
you?
I'm going a 7.5. So this episode did some stuff that I wasn't crazy about. We're continuing on with the Heather stuff. We're continuing on. We're getting more BB and more Daniel. Not crazy about that stuff, but we got
Not a lot
Bullseye
of it,
back.
not a lot, not too much.
But we got Bullseye
Yeah.
back, and that makes me happy. And I like the stuff that they're doing with Bullseye. And just all that stuff. I'm happy about. I'm happy that it feels like in this episode, it feels like we're kind of taking a step forward. We're kind of closing some of these loose ends. The Adam stuff. What else? There was some other stuff I can't remember now. I wrote it down. Bullseye back. Adam's gone. BB maybe has something to do. Maybe she's not just going to be like this. Oh, I think I like Daniel. But I don't know. I'm going to betray him, and then I'm going to do this. At least she has. It seems like she's going to have some sort of story. I'm still not crazy about it, but at least she's doing something. So I'm
Didn't
kind
take
of
a lot of screen time.
yeah. I'm kind of at a 7.5. Charlie.
All right. We talked about this in the beginning of when we were starting to do these reviews, and you can see it reflected in my scores. That I was trying to be positive and look through things with a lens of enthusiasm and give the show the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
And whenever things seemed like they were leading to something that was going to be interesting and exciting, that made me rate the episode that I watched, even though it didn't do it in the episode, but it was leading somewhere good.
Mm-hmm.
It made me rate it higher. And then you can kind of see where that stopped working for me.
Yeah.
Although some of the episodes, I still kind of I held out candles. This is it. We're finally getting Daredevil. It's finally happening. Things
Sure.
are finally moving. And then they would just yank the rug again and again and again and again. And I have no faith that the finale is going to be gripping, that it's going to be excellent, that it's going to be fun. I don't have any faith that they're going to land the plane, that they're going to stick it. And if they do, then great. Then I will give that episode where they actually do the things that I want them to do a higher rating. But they keep not doing those things and just alluding to those things. If you told me that there were 9 episodes and in episode 8 I would still be frustrated because there's no Daredevil, I would have said you're crazy. There's no way that we're not getting eight episodes. Episodes 2 through 7 you could skip. You could skip them all. There was no point to any of them. You need like a 4-minute recap or less of like, oh yeah, this is Heather. They're dating. Nobody likes her. They have no chemistry. He's got new partners in a firm. This is Cherry. He's an investigator who doesn't like him being Daredevil. And yeah, that's it. Here's you know who Bullseye is. You know why he's in jail. Fisk, Vanessa, all that stuff. Oh, this guy Adam. I guess he had an affair or something. We don't really know much about it. He's dead now. Doesn't matter. Muse is gone. We don't care about the serial kill anymore. He came for a couple episodes, was gone. 60+. Who cares? Vigilante crime is down 30% since he died because he's a vigilante for some reason. It drives me nuts. I'm giving this episode a 6.3. It's better than the last one. It's watchable, but it doesn't deliver any of the things that I want it to deliver. I want the tension to lead somewhere, and instead it's giving me Matt Murdock pushing Kingpin out of the way to get shot somehow by a magic bullet that only he can detect, by a deadly assassin who never misses but only fired one shot and then stopped for some reason. I don't like none of it makes sense to me at all. It's frustrating. There's still too many storylines, too many things that are tethered out into the universe, and I'm not looking forward to the finale. I'm kind of just like I hope it's great, but I'm like frustrated with the show beyond belief. Give me a fresh season and a fresh start, but man, I'm grumpy about it. I'm grumpy.
That makes sense.
A 6.3. Charlie, we went 8.5, 7.5, and you had to go 6.3.
You want me to go 6.2? I can't give it a 6.5, bro. It wasn't 0.7 better than the last episode. All right, fine. Put it at 6.5
No,
for
no.
your.
This is what you put. This is what you put. I'm just
Yeah,
grumpy at you
good.
for having to be different. You had to go a
I
6.3.
did it on purpose too.
I know
that's
you
the
did.
worst part.
I
saw the
know that you
7.5 and I
did.
was like, I should go 6.5, and I'm not gonna do it.
I know you did. That's why I'm grumpy at you. But okay, well,
Just like the show, I'm subverting your expectations, lowering them slowly.
yeah, this episode did kind of wind up on the it's kind of mid-tier for us, which I think is kind of where this episode sort of felt. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
next week is the season finale, so I think Dylan is really looking forward to it. I am really hopeful, and Charlie is pessimistic about the whole thing.
And that's
It
great
makes
because
sense. It
whatever
makes sense.
category of those three things you fall into, come watch it and then
Yeah.
watch it and then come watch it with us.
Yeah.
And no matter how you felt about it, there's going to be one of the three of us who's right there with you. You love it? You thought it was okay or you hated it? Come on down. We got you.
I'm hopeful. How about that?
Yeah, you said that.
We have to get Daredevil in the final, right? Or is he going to be
Yes.
shot and wounded the whole time?
No, oh my god, no.
He's going to be like
No. We're getting Daredevil. It has to have if it doesn't have Daredevil, if it doesn't have Daredevil, it's going to be below a 5 for me. I'll be very upset if we don't get Daredevil.
You think we're getting Punisher, or is that going to be next season? You think?
I have no idea. I have no idea what they want to do with this finale. I don't know what they're actually going to wrap up. I don't know what is this going to be a big cliffhanger for the next season? I don't know. No idea.
I would imagine so. It's going to be a soft close though, because they're already filming. It's going to be quick, a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. They're filming season 2 right now. So we'll see. But I'm hopeful. All right. Well, that was fun. That we all kind of came in different spots with this. So first time that we've been that spread out. All right. Well, Charlie, you've been talking a lot. I'll give you a little break and I'll go ahead and close this out. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Hey, you know what? If you like this, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, below Tudong, there's another video that you should check out. It's optimized just for you. And below me is a little button that you can press to subscribe, because we would really appreciate that. And comment down below what you thought of this episode. Who are you lining up with? Me, Charlie, or Tudong? We want to hear it. So, all right, we will talk to you guys later. Bye.